you?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous.
Oh, good.
I just love the summertime.
Well,
Spring,
you're
summer, and
obviously out
fall.
working in the gardens.
Yes.
And look what all your work has accomplished.
Isn't it amazing?
It is remarkable.
And you're right. It does change every year. You never know if the plants are going to flourish one year more than the next, or maybe die out.
Or just different ones flourish in different ways from year to year.
They do,
So
don't
things
they?
look a little bit different every year.
That's why it's so exciting. Just to have a place where you can have some reaffirmation of life.
Right. And that's important.
It is in this
It
world,
really
isn't
is.
it?
There's been a lot going on lately that doesn't necessarily honor life as much as we might like. So I'm glad to see that we have a place where we can honor the beauty of life around us.
And for me, I feel like I'm rich in different ways. No, I don't have lots of money, but look at the richness of the garden and the fun that I can bring, or
Right.
that the garden can bring me.
And you know what? In some ways that might even be more important.
Oh, sure.
But psychologically it's certainly more important, I think.
A place where you can go and be uplifted
It's
in
my
the garden.
personal opinion, mind you, but you know, on this show that's what you're going to get, whether you want it or not. So there. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. That's what we do this for.
That's why.
We say we do it for you, but we lie. We do it for ourselves. It's a platform.
Ah. Well, what did you bring today?
So I brought an article that I want to talk about, and you know, it seems appropriate that we should be sitting outside in all of this beauty while we're talking about. Oh my, look at that.
Who knew?
How long did it take us to figure that out?
Decades.
Yeah, well, okay. Anyway, so I found this article that really impressed me, and it came from the May 2007 issue of the Rake magazine.
Rake.
Which
R-A-K-E?
R-A-K-E.
The Rake.
Yes.
Okay.
And I am really impressed with that magazine. They do some really incredible work.
Oh.
They really do. And this particular article is called Pimp My E-Ride.
Huh.
Now, what it refers to, and goodness knows all sorts of things could be extrapolated from that title, what it refers to is electric cars.
Oh.
And
They are so quiet.
They are. They're
I love
extremely
those.
quiet. You are absolutely right about that. There is no noise to them whatsoever. And I was absolutely amazed to discover through this article that the technology for electric cars has been around since the 1800s.
Oh my goodness.
Now, why do you think most people might not be aware of that?
No, I have. Yeah, why would that?
Well, and part of the reason why I asked that question is because that's one of the questions addressed in this article. Why is it that nobody knows that electric car technology has been around since the 1800s?
Oh my
gosh. It refers to a movie in this article that came out some time ago called, I have to get it right.
Sure.
Who Killed the Electric Car?
Who killed the electric car?
Now, let's stop and think for a moment, shall we, about the way things and politics influence what happens in our society. You might have an answer in your own head about why this happened, but my impression is that the reason electric cars were killed, quote unquote, is because the oil companies and the oil barons
Sure.
knew where their bread and butter came from, and they wanted it to keep coming from there.
I see.
So they made sure that the technology around electric cars never advanced enough to come into the public eye and become a standard.
Wow.
And one of the ways in which they did that is to ensure through legislation in several states that no electric car would legally be allowed to run faster than 25 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if you can imagine what a damper that might put on the development of electric cars, and electric cars do exist, mind you, they have, and you can get them and put them out on the road just like any other car.
Sure.
Except that the majority of them now are sort of modeled after golf carts.
Okay.
And they go very slowly, and they're limited range. At least that's the most common picture of what an electric car is and what it does. Well, the person featured in this article, John Herou, spelled Herou, created a company called E-Ride Industries, and he specializes in electric cars. And he says they're called neighborhood electric cars because by law they can only go 25 miles per hour and drive on streets with commensurate speed limits here in Minnesota.
Wow.
Now, many of the models that he has look like small SUVs. And they have a lot of space for carrying things.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is a plus.
Oh, sure.
And he says, John says, I thought it would be fun to build an old replica of a 1932 Ford Roadster for the kids. And that was how it all started, his building electric cars.
Wow.
His first electric cars were golf carts designed to look like classics from the 1930s.
Oh, marvelous. Oh.
One of the models that he has is a white two-seater called the EXV2, and it is being used outside of the E-Ride offices in Princeton, Minnesota.
Wow.
So there are companies and organizations that will purchase the electric cars and use them.
Good.
Generally for security. They use them in the parks
sure.
and recreation services to drive around in the parks and do their upkeep work.
Sure.
Let's see. They kind of have the pared down feel of a Jeep Wrangler. It's 9 8-volt deep cycle batteries, which are stashed in a compartment between the seats, and enough to keep the car moving for 55 miles between charges. The batteries also power all of the extra accoutrements like a horn or the windshield wipers or an optional stereo and a heater.
Wow.
So the battery takes care of all those things too.
Amazing.
And we have some images that I hope we'll be able to put up on the screen for you to let you see what some of these models look like.
Don't they look amazing?
They do. There's a wide variety of them there, and they're used in a lot of different capacities. But let's see here.
But Exxon Oil wasn't too interested, huh?
Apparently not. No, and it's sort of like, buy up all the patents for your competition and hide them away in a drawer, like a friend of mine just recently told me. Make sure that they never see the light of day and make it into the mainstream of the populace, but they are extremely quiet. To start them, you turn a key and that's it. There's no sound, no revving of motors like your regular gasoline engine car might do. You flip a toggle switch on the dashboard to go from forward to reverse.
Huh.
It says some of the first cars in America were battery powered, and in the late 1800s, these cars held many of the land speed and distance records.
Wow.
Through various actions by the oil and auto industries, some call them conspiracies, electric cars were phased out. Then there was a successful experiment in California in the 1990s in the documentary Who Killed the Electric Car, and they were phased out again.
Oh.
So in the 1990s, they enjoyed a brief resurge of interest, and then they faded out again until just recently. Lee Hart, an engineer and member of the Minnesota Electric Auto Association, a group formed just last year, says that if you are interested in electric cars, you are an iconoclast. It says, we don't lobby, we don't have lawyers, but gradually they're gaining more and more interest, and people are with an effort to go more green, there's more people paying attention to the possibility of owning and driving electric cars, even if they just drive them in the neighborhood to run errands.
Sure.
Or to drop the children off at sporting events or whatever, just for small errands instead of large ones where you don't have to go too far.
Boy, that makes sense. And electricity is a renewable resource. We
Right.
can make it from wind.
Right.
Where oil, not so much.
Right, and if you think about it, I think personally I would be willing to pay a higher electric bill to charge the battery for 8 hours overnight
Sure.
than to have to pay gasoline, repairs, the damage to the ozone, all of that stuff that isn't there with an electric car. And they are working on batteries, extending the life of these batteries so that you can go further distances between charges. And eventually they're hoping to, to put these cars together in kits, sell them in a kit, so that the average person could assemble them with bolts and a wrench.
That would save money.
Let's see, I think it's in California. Yeah, he intends to build a vehicle that may go 300 miles on a single charge. It's a version of a model designed in the late 1990s called the Sunrise. And he's hoping to sell it as a kit.
How neat is that?
Yeah. And so there is a resurgence of interest, and people are doing things to make it more user-friendly and more widely available. Let's see here. At some point, the state may offer a tax credit toward the purchase of an electric vehicle, supplementing federal credits, so that it makes it even more affordable and more widely available to people. This is what he says about all of this. He says, take your oil and gas and shove it.
Let's say that together.
Yeah. Take your oil and gas and shove it.
it.
Yes, exactly.
Hey everybody, I'm Ronnie Day.
And I'm Danny Kaye.
And we're the Nancy Boys. Well, absolutely. And you may recall our lovely co-hostess, Miss MargO from FargO and Martiqua, announced a contest a little bit ago. What was that contest?
It was Nancy for a day. If you knew somebody Nancy enough, you thought you could write in, and they could win this fabulous cookbook with two lovely ladies.
Yes, I'm right over here.
And MargO's over here.
No, I mean my sister is right over here.
You look so much alike.
Yeah.
And MargO's on the cover too.
Of course, that is by the famous chef John Michael Lerma.
Yes.
Garden County.
Garden County.
Where everyone's welcome at the table. And all Nancys are welcome here. Let's review a little bit about that contest. MargO and Martiqua, take it away.
Oh, I forgot that one. Oh, well.
The forgotten
Why did
mail.
I do that? I don't know.
Did you hear about our new contest?
Which one?
How Nancy is Nancy. That's right. You can nominate your friends, and you have to email us, right?
Right.
thenancyboys@aol.com and tell us why you think your friend is Nancy enough to be Nancy for a day. And we'll choose a winner, and they get a free copy of John Michael's cookbook, Garden County.
I really like that idea.
Now you must include a JPEG or some kind of photo attachment with your Nancy friend. Now it can be a woman, it can be transgender, it can be straight, it can be anybody. But we need a JPEG, we need a description.
What's that?
I don't know.
Okay.
But we do need a description of why your Nancy is Nancy enough, okay? And the winner will get a free cookbook. And it has a picture of BJ and MargO on it, plus, of course, John Michael himself, and Mr. Peabody, too.
Wow.
Very cool. So nominate your Nancy friend today.
That sounds marvelous.
thenancyboys@aol.com. Don't forget the JPEG, and good luck.
Cool. I'm there.
You are right there, girl. Let's
Am
get
I
closer.
part of the group? Do I get to the
You're
committee?
Nancy, you're Nancy enough.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
For, well, the whole Twin Cities.
Yeah, thanks. Am I part of the committee? Do I get to choose?
Yes, you get to be part of the committee to To choose, that's right.
That's
oh, these look
fun.
yummy.
That'll work.
Hi, Martiqua.
Hey, Margo, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, I'm doing pretty great myself.
You look glamorous.
Thank you very much.
Very good with the gold black thing.
You
Wonderful.
would entertain the kiddies quite nicely with those earrings of yours.
Oh, that's right. One more little secret. Buy your jewelry at PetSmart.
Well, you know, whatever works.
Absolutely.
This is cute too.
Oh, thanks, hairy chest. I like it.
Yeah, oh, nice.
I'm a little earthy, I guess.
I was talking about the necklace.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awfully sweet of you.
Yeah, well, you know,
Oh,
we need to compliment one another once in a while.
someone needs a compliment.
Well, there's enough to compliment. It's not hard. So,
You know what I found?
what?
A little secret to making eggs.
Okay,
Now, there's
cool.
lots of variety, and people don't always know the standard, but we're here to set the standards.
Yes, and then consequently break them.
Break them.
Yes. That's what
Well, now you're a big fan of poached eggs.
I am.
Okay, should we go through that first?
Sure.
Now, we're getting this from Egg Notes, something that we got where, see, John Michael Lerma was signing a book at Cook's.
Oh, okay.
This happened to be Crocus Hill, but he's also on France.
Oh, okay.
And there he turned, I said, you know, I'm having a problem with my eggs. And she said, come with me.
Oh,
And
well.
they've got these little egg notes, this little shape of an egg. It's actually a refrigerator magnet
Cool.
for a little reminder. Now it says, for best results, place eggs in cold water and begin,
Oh.
and begin timing when water starts to boil. We better hurry.
Oh.
I'll get some eggs.
Oh, I wish I had read that first.
Oh dear. Oh dear, dear,
Oh, well.
dear. Oh,
Well, you know, that is not the way that I make my poached eggs. And so that
Oh,
it
there's
didn't occur to me that while I do it is I wait for the water to boil and then I put it in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because poached eggs, I mean, you wait for the water to boil and then you crack the egg into the boiling water.
Oh,
And
that's
you
what
let
those
it
are.
sit on the bottom of the pan boiling in the water and then you scoop it out. That's how I do it.
Oh.
Obviously, they have different ideas, which I'm sure is fine.
It's just fine.
Yes.
Well, all right.
Our audience, I'm sure, has all sorts of ideas about how they would do it. But since
Absolutely.
we're here and they're not, they're going to have to listen to us. Yeah,
Say, Martiqua's got an invitation for you.
I do.
If you want to be on our show, just email us with a little picture and a little story about yourself, about why you'd like to be.
You know, that's a really fun idea. Because we get responses from our audience in emails, and that's really fun and exciting.
Thanks, everybody, for your
Yeah.
emails.
But to actually have them join us on the show would be even more cool.
We're very excited.
Yeah, because, you know, either we can make them up, or they can teach us a few things and we can look better.
Absolutely. So send your emails today.
Yes, please.
Just click on our website and say, I want to be Nancy. And you might get chosen.
Cool.
All right, back to poaching eggs.
Yes. Okay, so,
It says poaching. We're going to, I'll let you read that since
okay, it
your
says,
eyesight's a little better than mine.
you think? Are you sure about that? Because I'm not.
Oh.
Okay, now, this is the way that I do it. I wait for the water to boil,
Okay.
and then I crack each of the eggs into the boiling water and let it sit in there for, as it says here, 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes on the poaching eggs. Okay.
Right. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think I would leave it sit 5 minutes because then they
it
come
might
out
be a little
tough.
too much.
Yeah, I think they come out
And
tough.
to the side it says whites are
Coagulated.
and yolks are still soft.
Yes.
That's your goal, okay?
Yes.
Now we're gonna zoom in on Martiqua trying to reach this goal.
All right. Okay.
You feel like you're watching the Olympics or something.
Something.
Our egg gold medalist.
Oh my. Well, it sounds a lot more positive than it really is. All right.
Very good.
Okay.
Now, oh, she's cracked. See,
This is
I told you.
The egg is dear. And you too, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. Anyway.
Now she's putting it
So,
right in the
just
water.
put it
Is
right
that right?
into the water. That's
Goodness
how I
sakes,
do
did you-
it.
Oh. I see now. Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh, it just kind of sinks to the bottom. Okay.
Yep,
Oh,
and you
garbage.
just leave
Sorry.
it in there.
You
That's
wanna
all right.
leave it
I
alone.
just don't want to drip on your floor. There we go.
Thank you. If you need to wash
Certainly.
this. Okay, so that is it's going to look like that in
Yes.
water.
And you
Okay.
know, restaurants do it a little bit differently because they have to do it on a grill cooktop.
Okay,
So
so
they
that's
do it in a
different.
little tiny saucepan that's just teeny weeny and really not very deep.
Sort of a pan made for something like that.
Right. Or they get a special poaching pan and they do it that way.
Well, very good.
Some
I'll
of
try
us are
sometime.
not that fancy.
No.
Oh, when we're supposed to do it 3 to 5 minutes. but-
Okay, but it looks like it's almost done.
Well, I kind of, I would take it out about now.
Okay,
anyway.
now, okay. Here. Do you want to put it in here?
Sure, that'll work.
Okay.
Try
Now,
this.
you like the slotted spoon.
Yes, because otherwise you end up with all the water at the bottom when you're trying to take the egg out.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And this is the fun part because you know
that is
it's
a little
not always
mysterious
easy
looking.
to do, and you can always tell when you've done it wrong because the yolk breaks and starts to cook in the boiling water,
Oh, okay.
which is what you're trying to avoid. But that doesn't mean that it's going to work. So get ready to laugh, audience, at Martiqua's effort to do this without breaking the yolk. Can she do
Goodness sakes. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this looks very promising.
it? Don't say that yet. Bloop, and we lost it.
Oh, no.
Yes, indeed. All right. Now, there's also supposed to be something about public side and private side when you serve a poached egg.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
And this would be the private side because you don't want your guests to see that.
Oh, I see,
So you would
sure.
normally flip it over
Flop
and
it
serve it on
over.
the other side, which is why some restaurants, when they're fancier, have little poached egg servers, which are tiny little itty-bitty cups on a pedestal that they serve a poached egg in.
Oh, how interesting.
Anyway, wonderful! Isn't it
Here's
beautiful?
a big round of applause for Martiqua.
Yes, a big explosion of egg yolk. Oh well.
Well, that was really something.
Then we get the goodies out, the egg whites.
Oh, sure.
And I like to do mine over cottage cheese with spices and
Oh.
a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top when I'm serving it for myself.
Is that like eggs Martiqua?
Well,
What's
I
that
guess
little
so.
recipe? What is it now? You get some cottage cheese
Yes.
for the base, right?
Yes.
And you put this over it,
Yeah,
right?
you put the poached egg on top of
Okay.
the cottage cheese,
Very
and that way if it breaks, then it'll ooze all over your cottage cheese, which is kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
And then you add a little bit of spices and some Parmesan cheese,
Oh.
and you have an easy little breakfast. It doesn't take very long to make.
Oh,
And you know what? Poached eggs are really, really healthy because you're not using oil.
Oh,
And
okay,
frying them.
sure.
It's done in water. So I think they're the healthiest way to eat eggs. I really do.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. Because fried eggs, of course, you're using butter or margarine.
Right. And although they taste fabulous, they're not quite as healthy.
Not quite.
Nope, not quite.
Now, you've got a little bit of information about eggs there.
Yeah, we do. There's
Yes.
quite a bit here that we can share with
Oh,
everybody.
sure.
Let me see here.
Sure, I
I got
can.
2 of those. All right. All right. Let me take a look at this one. I don't even know what we've got here because there's a mountain of stuff.
There's so much about eggs.
Okay. Okay. This is what it says. My friend passes the egg yolk back and forth from shell half to shell half when separating eggs. Is this the best way to separate eggs?
Should we demonstrate that?
Sure, we
Here,
can
now,
do that.
Martiqua's going to demonstrate what they're talking about, just in case you haven't.
Do we have
Done
the
it.
eggs for later?
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, good.
Okay, now I have seen chefs do this, meaning my mom. You know.
Well, cool. I've tried to do this.
Now this is when you want it specifically part of the egg. You
Right.
don't want the egg and the yolk.
Right.
You want either. Oh, sorry. You want the white or the yolk.
Yes.
You want either the whites or the yolk.
Yes.
The yolk is a yellow, right?
Yes.
And the white's what color? It's clear, but it turns white.
Yeah, it's called albumin, and it's kind of
Albumin.
smoky, foggy, and yeah.
Very nice. Okay,
Yeah.
now You have, okay, now what are you going to do? Let's
Well,
see.
I'm going to try to separate it.
Okay.
Using the example that we have here,
Oh, sure.
which is to toss it back and forth from shell to shell until the egg yolk the egg white has separated from the yolk.
Okay, that's what they're talking about.
Right, and we've actually seen Miss BJ do this with one of her recipes in this kitchen.
Oh, I think
she
you're right.
separated eggs, and remember when she said, "I need another egg,"
Oh, that's right.
and you had to go in and beat the chicken up to get some more because you were used up so many. Remember that? Well,
I
that's
do.
when she was trying to separate eggs this way, and it wasn't always working.
Now, she's on tour now, I believe.
Is she?
Down under.
Oh, cool.
Under what or whom, we don't know.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but okay, if you want to share that, go ahead. All right,
Okay, she's trying to get
So
the
I've-
yolk alone.
right, and I've kept the yolk in one
Okay.
half of the shell, and
Okay.
most of the egg whites have fallen into the bowl.
Okay,
Now I'll pass it back and forth
okay.
so that I can get to even more of
And
the
now,
egg white.
in some recipes, you do use both, but at separate times.
Right.
So
exactly.
you might want to hang on to the egg whites or the clear stuff in the
Well, yes, and
Depending on your
a good example of why you might need whites
Uh-huh.
instead of both is if you're making meringue.
Ooh, meringue.
You use
I've never made
the
meringue.
egg whites and you beat them, and then you add sugar and you make meringue.
Oh,
And
okay.
so you have to be able to separate the whites from the yolk in order to do that.
Oh.
So I was able to do it. I feel very pleased.
Well, very
but you know
good.
what?
Yes.
Our question said,
Yes.
is this the best way to do it?
Oh,
And
I'm
the answer
curious.
to
I
their
don't
question-
know.
Their answer was, no, it's not.
Oh, okay. So if you've seen that, there's other options, huh?
Right, and this is what they say about it.
Oh.
Bacteria are so very tiny that even after washing and sanitizing, it's possible that some bacteria may remain in the shell's pores.
Oh, in the shells while you're doing this.
Right.
Oh.
The shell might also become contaminated from other sources.
Oh, goodness.
When you break or separate eggs, it's best to avoid mixing the yolks and whites with the shells.
Oh.
Rather than broken shell halves in your hands like you saw a moment ago,
Okay.
use an inexpensive egg separator or a funnel
A funnel. Oh.
when you separate eggs to help prevent introducing bacteria. Also use a clean utensil to remove any bits of eggshell that fall into an egg mixture, and avoid using eggshells to measure other foods. Okay?
Well, how interesting.
And I have to say, I did not know this.
No. So I wonder if they have egg funnels, or can we use just any funnel? Should we
You know
try?
what? It doesn't say it. We should
Just,
try. Yeah, let's try
Well, you
it.
can see, I think. Here, we can do it right here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I will do it.
So now this is the Martiqua egg funnel technique.
All right. So that way we can blame me if it doesn't work.
Of course. That's how we know it works.
Somehow, how did I
Martiquas.
know that was part of the plan?
And this camera looks good here. It looks like.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Let's see
Oh,
if I
am I-
can get it separated here without making a disastrous
Wow.
mess.
Now this is the alternative way to separate eggs and yolks.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm coming up
Here
there.
we go.
Bloop.
Very good. Now
Pour
she's
it all in there.
the whole thing in it. Look out the bottom. Ooh, that is definitely the white stuff, egg whites. It's a clear color now, but
Looks a
if
little
it's fried, it'll
disgusting.
turn. It looks like, yeah.
All right.
Ever seen a 2-year-old?
Well,
Had to clean his nose or
I
something?
think age is irrelevant when you're ill. It all looks the same. Yeah. You know what? This might actually work.
Well, it might.
You might have to jostle things around.
The
a
yolk
little bit.
is kind of stopping
Yes,
everything.
it's plugged up the
But I
hole in the
wonder,
fire.
should we, oh, a spatula from Martiqua's purse, maybe.
Oh,
It's kind of moving your egg around.
yes, you always say that, and I'm always afraid that it's one of the ones that hasn't been cleaned yet, and that's kind of scary.
Whoa!
You know what?
Well, don't use that technique. But we almost had it. It was very good.
We were not a success at this technique. That did not work. We now have runny egg yolk in our egg white. Okay.
So keep that in mind, that you could use a funnel of some kind. Maybe not that kind.
No, I don't know. Maybe we would need a funnel that has an even smaller opening,
Oh, maybe.
because then maybe the egg wouldn't get in the way as much. I don't know.
Oh,
Just a guess.
you let us know. Email us, okay? Or the egg separator, which I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I.
No, but that's what you would do to try not to get bacteria.
All right.
Well, very good. I found something too about eggs.
And what did you find?
In the United States, more than 300 million laying hens produce eggs, the majority of whom are confined in small wire cages known as battery cages. The battery hens suffer from a number of debilitating welfare problems, including the thwarting of natural behaviors, bone weakness, breakage, feather loss, and numerous disease.
Well, it makes sense actually because they're never allowed out of the cages.
Isn't that something?
That's where they live, and they never get to do anything. They don't move around. The cages are really tiny and they barely fit in there.
And they seem kind of piled up on each other.
Yeah, well, that's they're trying to maximize their profit.
Oh, goodness
And so
sakes!
the chickens never get to move, and their muscles don't work, and their wings probably don't even work, and
that's
which is kind
so
of sad. It is.
The life of a battery hen begins in a commercial hatchery where thousands of chicks are hatched in industrial incubators. Male chicks are of no value to the egg industry and are killed shortly after birth. Oh, I did not know that.
No, I didn't.
Usually
either.
by gassing, crushing, or suffocating. The female chicks have a part of their beaks sheared off with a hot blade. This beak trimming is performed without anesthesia or anesthesia. Well, anesthesia is something that would put you to sleep, and the other thing, analgesia,
Analgesia.
that is like aspirin or something that would perhaps, curb the pain a little
Lessen the
bit.
pain,
Chicks
yeah.
have pain receptors in their beaks, and research has shown that the hens are likely to experience both acute and chronic pain as a result of this beak trimming. After this procedure, the chicks are transported to indoor egg farms and placed in their battery cages.
Lovely!
Isn't that great? So enjoy your poached eggs, everyone.
Yeah, it kind of makes me feel a little guilty now.
No, we better go.
Okay.
Bye!
Bye!
It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la. It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la. It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la. It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world just la 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 la.
Ciao, Nancy boys.
Hi.
Good to be back with you again. We're here at Il Refugio in the middle of the Tuscan Hills.
El Refugio, and you may not know this, is one of the newest houses on the block.
Yes.
That's right.
How old is it?
It's only 300 years old.
It's a new house.
It's a new house for Tuscany.
It
In
is.
Cortona, there's actually homes that are 800 years old.
It's amazing. And from what I understand, it's technically a Tuscan farmhouse, but it's called Il Refugio. It's called the Refuge because it was a place where I believe a retired someone working in the police field back in old days.
Chief of police, maybe?
Chief of police, I think so. He built this home as a place to get away. He was given what they call the golden handshake. In other words, get out of Rome.
Get out of Rome.
And it's quite well guarded. It's almost like a little fortress all its own, built out of old stones. We'll give you a little tour later. But that's why it's called the Refuge. It's a place where he and his family could be safe.
And it is so secluded. There are no neighbors around. They are adding on, I believe, to the swimming pool out back, which is just fun. And the view from here is phenomenal.
You can see Cortona on the top of the hill. You can see some vineyards and olive trees.
And they actually make their own wine. El Refugio has its own wine.
Wow.
And I got a chance to taste the olive oil.
Was it
Made from
good?
the olive trees right here. Oh, it's just wonderful.
Well, if you tasted it, was it still extra virgin?
Not after I got through with it.
Don't think so. But let's see. We were talking about Florencia,
That's right.
which is Florence, Florencia. And you know what? The nightlife and the shopping has never been better than it is in Florencia. It's beautiful there. What did you think of the shops?
The shops were phenomenal. They're actually very, what do they call, high scale, upper scale?
Upscale.
Upscale. They
They're
are
very
really
upscale.
upscale. Yeah.
Yeah, and the men of Florence rock.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And the outfits of the Polizia, I believe that's how you say it,
Policia.
Polizia, were wonderful. Again,
I think I'm going back to Spain.
good eye candy.
But the Federales.
But you know what? On this entire Italian vacation, we have felt safe the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
By the way, it feels safer than it does in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So don't be afraid to go abroad.
Oh, no. Just go and have fun.
In fact, go abroad as abroad.
As abroad.
Go for
abroad.
adventure. But the nightlife too, plenty of discos, hot pulsating music, and they have the Euro disco still. And the Euro disco is much more like our old discotheques, but it's still popular here, and gosh knows I love that.
Now, we did stay overnight, and a woman named Suzanne, I believe, was our hostess.
Oh, we stayed at the most lovely bed and breakfast. And by the way, Florencia is very, very walkable. You can walk
yes.
from every tourist site to the next. It's
Within
fabulous.
10 minutes, we were to the next site.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
It's cool. And Suzanne, she looked just like Jacqueline Bisset. Her English was pretty good, and she was one of the kindest women we've met on our journey. Thank you, Suzanne. Mwah.
Ciao, Bella.
You're bellissimo. You're so beautiful. Thank you. Well, let's go take a look with Ronnie Day and Danny Kaye
All right.
at the nightlife and shops of Florencia.
Enjoy.
Ciao, baby.
Come è cominciata io non saprei, la storia è infinita con te, che sei diventata la mia lei, di tutta una vita per me, ci vuole passione con te, e un briciolo di pazzia, ci vuole pensiero, perciò lavoro di fantasia, ricordi la volta che ti cantavo.
Come on, I hear the music.
There you
What's
go.
happening here? And by the way, if you haven't noticed, when I get home, I'm going on a diet. They all look like David Beard, and I don't. It's a bummer.
This is very pretty.
I want to look, BJ actually, and myself, want to look like that.
Yeah, there we go. There. I just like, that's so Italian.
Carpe diem, let's seize the day and listen to the music.
Okay.
Sure.
music, you're going to want to give them a euro. Give them a euro and let them know thank you for adding such lovely atmosphere.
Well, the microphone's here.
I know, but I don't want
So I just started getting here.
Okay. Just like,
How close to my face are you? Great.
ciao, man. Here we are on the piazza of love. Amore. Dance the night away, you dance boys. Oh my god, this is the best I've ever done.
Hello, my name is Martiqua. I'm glad you could join us today. I am here to talk to you about an organization called Collage, C-O-L-A-G-E, and it stands for Children of Lesbians and Gays Everywhere, and it originally came out of San Francisco, California. Their website is on the bottom of the page now. Take a look at that. You can check them out for yourself on the internet. But the reason that I wanted to talk about them today is because in conjunction with the Minneapolis Public Library System, they have published a list of books that are available for children and teens of LGBT parents, so that they can look for material that's appropriate to the lives that they're familiar with and learn more about being in the LGBT community. I'm just going to read some of the titles and encourage you to check out what they might have available for you in the library system where you live. A Beach Party with Alexis is a coloring book that depicts Alexis and her friends during a day at the beach. And it has LGBT aspects to it. There aren't too many coloring books that have that. So it's nice to know that that's out there somewhere. Best Colors, an anti-bias book for children. It's a bilingual children's book in both English and Spanish, and it tells the story of how a group of children deal with a hate crime that occurs in their own neighborhood. The Boy Who Cried Fabulous. This rhymed book tells the story of a young boy who marvels at everything around him and is constantly late, upsetting his parents until they realize how truly fabulous their son is. Now, each one of these listings also has an age range associated with it, so that as a parent or a concerned adult in a child's life, you can take a look at the range that's appropriate for your child to make sure that you're not giving them inappropriate material or things that are too difficult for them. We know how important that is. Another is Daddy's Roommate. Meet a boy, his gay dad, and his dad's partner in this Lambda Literary Award-winning book. Let's see. The Duke Who Outlawed Jelly Beans and Other Stories is a collection of 5 original fairy tales: The Frog Prince, The Eagle Rider, The Dragon's Sense, The Ogre's Boots, and The Duke Who Outlawed Jelly Beans. Embedded within the stories are a cast of gay and lesbian characters. Transgender Tapestry, a leading source for stimulating dialogue covering a wide range of gender topics from medical and psychological care to family and partner issues. My Daddy Has HIV. A young girl whose father has HIV learns about the virus and is proud of her dad for trying to stay healthy. This book is very easy to read with simple, colorful illustrations. So as you can see, there's a wide variety of books that have been published for young people to touch some of the less comfortable and maybe more scary issues that might come up in their lives, being that they're part of the GLBT community. It's wonderful that we have these available, and they're marvelous teaching tools, and they help children to learn to accept the reality of the lives of the adults around them and learn to understand them so that they have proper information to share with their friends at school. I encourage you to go to the website, take a look at the list of publications that they have available, and maybe go with your children on your next library visit and look for some of these titles. You've heard the phrase on television in other places, read more about it. Well, this would be a good way to get started teaching your children about GLBT issues. I'm glad that you could be here with us. That's a really important subject, and I encourage you to learn as much as you can and help your children do the same. Thanks. Bye now.
We're back, and guess what? Of all the contestants that we read through, we've got one clear winner.
Clear winner. Now this lovely Nancy used to live in Eagan and watched our show there, has now moved across the river overlooking the Minnesota River Valley from a fabulous condo in Bloomington. Yay! And can watch our show online, so we hope she catches this. Now, we got a picture, before we even tell your name. Who is this? This is the picture, the Nancy picture.
Ooh, look at her.
Do you see that? Look at her. You go, girl. You are definitely Nancy enough.
Absolutely.
And you and your partner, Keith, I'm sure will certainly enjoy this book. This is Jen L. or Jason is the lovely lady you saw in the picture.
Yay!
Yes.
Congratulations!
And she's emulating one of her favorite Nancy girls, the lovely Suzanne Sugarbaker from Designing Women.
Oh, she does a great job. Look at that.
You go, Delta Burke. You go, Suzanne.
Well, congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, and this book, this lovely book, will be off to you shortly. Enjoy, and thanks for participating.
Now, don't forget, the next contest is still going, so if you think you're Nancy enough or know someone Nancy enough, write in and give us a little JPEG so we can feature them on the show.
Yes.
They can be straight, gay,
doesn't matter.
Woman, man.
Can be a dog.
Absolutely. Go,
And
Coach.
I mean a literal dog.
I love it.
Yes, and by the way, all the pictures we received, thank you. Although you were not the winners, obviously Suzanne, she's exquisite.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. We enjoyed reading all of your letters and seeing all of your pictures. Thanks so much for participating and wanting to be a Nancy boy.
Yay! Congratulations!
Congratulations, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Hi, Martiqua.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, Margo. How about you?
Doing fine.
Wow, you look like you've
Just
been out
fine.
coasting along the beaches in that fabulous dress.
It's so summery.
Looks like Jamaica.
Ah. So you were talking about these electric cars.
I was.
Yes.
I was talking about them because I'm fascinated by them, and I'm disappointed that technology from the 1800s did not find its place in today's society, because it should have.
You're right.
And I'm going to start out this segment by repeating the line that I finished the last segment with.
Fair enough.
The quote, "Take your oil and gas and shove it."
Oh, let's do that together.
Yes, please.
Take your oil and gas and shove it.
That's what he said. He said nobody from overseas was buying anything at that time, he explained, and so In 2003, with gas prices on the rise, he turned his efforts to electric cars. It says about 85% of what we sold had never seen a golf cart anyway. Plus, people wanted larger vehicles that would go farther and carry more. So, John Harrell has a close-knit staff of 13 people, including a general manager and a chief financial officer who are both in their 20s, and they've sold hundreds of cars.
Great.
The goal this year, meaning May of 2007, is just over 500 they hope to sell.
Oh, good luck to them.
So it says some have gone to individuals living in warm states like California, Florida, and Texas. None have gone to private parties in Minnesota.
Really?
None. Which I just cannot believe, because somebody in Minnesota should be buying these cars and driving them around. It says, E-Ride's most robust markets are commercial and governmental. The company has sold to municipalities, universities, and branches of the military, along with park services and the Department of Energy. There's been an inquiry from the McMurdo Science Research Station in Antarctica, which is under the Gun to Reduce Emissions. The DNR here in Minnesota purchased one, and they use it up at Lake Itasca.
Oh, okay.
E-Ride's cars cost between $15,000 and $20,000, depending on the model and the options. But that's offset by the fact that they cost just over a penny per mile to drive.
Wow.
I'll repeat that. A penny per mile to drive. There is no need for oil changes, antifreeze, or spark plugs. The batteries charge in approximately 8 hours from a common household outlet. E-Ride is working with a company in Boulder, Colorado to develop a battery that would extend the range of its cars to 150 miles per charge.
Oh, cool.
All of our parts, or the majority, I'd say 99 and 9/10% are US made, he says. So we don't buy any foreign parts. A couple of yellow electric cars are headed for LAX airport. They use them for security and general maintenance, and they bought 15 of them from the company so far. To get past the 25 mile per hour speed limit, we would have to pass a crash test and add airbags. And it's considerably more expensive to do that.
Oh, sure.
So, and it says they've been told that it would cost them anywhere from $5 to $7 million to upgrade to that level.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty prohibitive, I would think. But, so hopefully we've been able to share with you some of the images of the model so that you can see what they look like. Because they really don't look like they used to years ago when they all looked like golf carts and buzzed around. Because they've been fancied and they look quite a bit better than that, I would say. I personally would love to have one. I would absolutely love to have one of these and run my errands with one of these. I would be so excited to do that. So just the idea that there is a company out there and that sales have been made and they are getting out there and people are aware of them now excites me, because that means maybe we're getting closer to having more of these available for the general public at some point. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see them happen.
But I have seen them. They're so quiet, too.
They really are.
You don't even notice them coming
clean,
out.
because there are no emissions. None. So it doesn't do anything to the atmosphere at all. So why wouldn't it be a brilliant idea?
Why wouldn't the government fund it and get it going?
Well, that's what I would like to know, but we know what some of those reasons are. You know, if they're making so much money off of oil and its revenues, they're going to want that to continue, and that's why this hasn't happened. Because,
keeping us dependent.
Yes, that's exactly right. and with gas up to, I don't know, $3 or $4 a gallon. You know?
They're making lots of money.
Yeah, they are. So anyway, now you've heard what he has to say about it and what his company suggests. So check it out if you can. Look it up online and get your own idea of what's going on.
Absolutely. Find
Yeah.
out for yourself. Now, Martiqua's a big fan of the library. Just go to the library.
I am. They have a lot of resources available for those who want to green up their lives.
Including the internet.
Yes.
Oh, how
Yes.
thrilling is that?
So-
Martiqua gave me a little tour of the public library 2 months ago or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It's very cool.
The brand new one. Yeah, it's amazing. They spent enough money on it,
Oh.
but you know, it looks like it. So it's an improvement over the old one.
The more that we can do to, like you say, green up, the more our planet's going to continue. Not
and
global warming.
The more we'll have all this beautiful growth around us,
Oh, yes.
like in your wonderful backyard.
Absolutely.
You know, wouldn't it be marvelous to think that that was happening everywhere instead of us worrying about the life conditions of polar bears in the Antarctic because
sad.
their ice is melting away? That's kind
So
of
they
pathetic.
slip off, and they can only swim for so long.
Yeah,
And then they actually drown.
how sad.
That is sad. That whole species are starting to disappear.
And the thing is, it's been a good wake-up call for us, and hopefully that's the way we'll see it, and we'll make enough changes so that we don't have more problems as a result of it before we run out of time.
Speaking of time,
Yes.
I guess that's enough for today. Thanks for joining us for another episode of In the Garden with a Hoe. Bye, everybody.
Bye!